I want to tell you a little story. It's a story about change. You see, I've lived in this valley, the Santa Clara County, for my whole life. I was born in San Jose, and I've seen some really big changes going on. And in this particular video, first off, I want to talk about that staghorn fern. Isn't that amazing? But in this particular video, the people that live in this house bought this property in 1949. And my job today is a view job. And you know, I don't love view jobs, but I see the value in them. And I also understand that it increases the property value significantly. So here's the story. The client that I'm working for is an old woman. She's going to be 102 in March. She was a spry old lady too. I really enjoyed talking to her. Sharp as could be, walked a mile every day. I was really, really impressed. So part of the job was, we had to get in there and clear out some of the oak trees and some of the brush that had been done every 3 or 4 years. And this particular pine, it's a ponderosa pine, was quite large. And she had had the view of this tree opened up many, many times. So basically what we're doing is we are continuing the view work. Now, I don't really love to do this, but when the alternative is to cut the tree down, okay, I'll do it. So anyway, I want to show you a little bit. This is the process of us doing this view job. And we did take out a nice big section of this tree in here. I also wanted to add that this tree was planted by them in the 50s. They planted a number of conifers for Christmas trees, including this ponderosa pine, which is now quite significant. It's probably a 100-foot tall tree. And if you look out over the valley here, all you can see are homes and new trees that have come in. But the story that I want to talk about is what it used to be. This whole area here, all these oak trees, almost every single one of these oak trees was not here when they bought this property. Even all the way up into the 60s, this was an orchard. This was all apricot trees. There's a lot of cool old artifacts on this property. I don't know where they came from, but to imagine this whole property being nothing but fruit trees, and as far as they could see, all the way out into the valley were orchards. And the kids were there. The son that I was talking to, he was in his 70s. He was telling me that when he was a kid, he would look out all the way down there and there weren't any obstructions from all these trees that have come up. And in the springtime, he could see all of the blossoms from all the orchards, and it was beautiful. He could see all the way down into the valley. He also mentioned that back in the 60s, when he was there was a couple of differences that have changed. He said that there weren't any crows, and there weren't any deer to speak of. And that's primarily because all the ranchers and farmers shot them. Well, in time, things changed. So, this is kind of cool here. This was an English walnut, an old English walnut on the property, and I spotted something way up high. Would you look at that? An English walnut burl. Wonder what that's like inside of that. So the guy that lived there, it was his mother's house, and he was helping. He did volunteer to come up with his little tractor and help us, which was a huge help. And you can see some of the old wounds from the past cuts. So basically, I'm carrying on with something that somebody else has done. But I think our cuts were a little bit better than this. There's a lot of ratty cuts up there. This was a limb that was hanging out over the house that he wanted us to take off. And clearly it had a big internal stress crack. So here we are, end of the day. And this is what the view looks like now, which is an incredible improvement. And I went and talked to the old woman and I asked her, I said, so what do you think? She says, I love it. She painted this picture in 1964, and this is what it used to look like.